I think it's a great topic. I really do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Are you being sarcastic?
No.
Are you being an ass?
Yeah.
Welcome to Chicken Adobo for the Soul, where two siblings talk about life like they know what they're doing. I'm Rachel.
And I'm Terrence.
Been a while.
Oh my God, yeah.
It's been a very long time.
It's been way too long, actually, yeah. Because, since Amanda was in town, like, we've been a little busy.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a while since we recorded, but, John and I have seen each other every day.
I wonder how or why.
Would you care to share?
No, you're the host. Please do.
I gained a roommate.
Housemate. I don't stay in your room.
That's fair.
Ha.
I gained a housemate.
More like homie.
John's been staying with us for, oh my gosh.
2
How
weeks?
long has it been?
2 weeks,
It's
maybe?
really only been 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Wow.
Ish.
Okay.
Something like that. I don't know.
I mean, it's nice.
Who's keeping track?
It's nice. I will say it's nice having another presence in the house.
Yeah, she says that for now. Wait until she checks the bathroom when I leave.
Bro.
Yeah.
I always check the bathroom now after Amanda leaves because one time she stayed with me and I forgot. Obviously, there were dirty diapers in there.
Oh, bet.
And I walked by like after a week and I was like, what is that?
So that's your future.
That's that's the future chore my children will have.
Oh, man. Yeah. But no, it's okay. Your bathroom's okay for now. It's fine.
Good. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So John's been staying with us for a couple of weeks out in suburbia.
Lord.
It is suburbia.
Yeah.
How do you like it so far?
Outside of not having my own chair, it's kind of the same thing. I mean, I'm a lot closer to my car. I can literally walk out the front door and there's my car right there instead of walking around the block.
You did join me on one of my afternoon walks.
Oh, that was nice, actually. Yeah. Outside of that, no, like I don't know if suburbia is the move for me. It's just it feels very domestic and feels nice, but I don't think it's a fit for me.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, not sorry. Suburbia.
No, I mean I will say that
you.
when I get a feeling of the city,
Mhm.
then that's when I come up to see you.
Yeah.
I mean, I think a lot of people say this. I like the city at night.
I think a lot of people do. Absolutely, yeah.
Probably because I think like I've been to DC during the day on
Oh,
a
because
Saturday.
it's full of
and
tourists and
and
stuff.
it's
Yeah.
so crowded. And
Yep.
I mean, yeah, I enjoy the guy playing the drum buckets
Yeah,
every
you
once
do.
in a while. And I do enjoy that. But man, there are a lot of tourists. And then they drive the scooters, and that's pretty dangerous because they're just not paying attention.
Yeah, that can be the case. But like just like any major city, you'll always have that in the daytime, and then things come to life really at night. And really depends
love it at night.
on what kind of scene you're looking for.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think our objectives are the same past dinner, but yeah, the cities really like come back 100%, right? Since June 11th, I think was the date that they set for letting bars and restaurants all come back to 100% capacity, which is super nice.
Good.
So a lot of the bars that are like, couple blocks within the same block as my place are all back up to full capacity, which is dope. Can't wait to go back and enjoy all of them. But before that, it was really barren, kind of lame. There was not an awful lot to do in DC, but
I will say that the times that I did visit you in the city at night, with people being at home and it being quiet, it was kind of nice.
Yeah, it was kind of quaint. Yeah, quiet. Yeah,
and I enjoyed it. Like I guess from the night that we went to Founding Farmers and we walked back, it was still a pretty empty street.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
I think that was everything at 50% at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but I guess we're moving on from 2020. People are certainly making up for this lost year.
It's hot vax summer.
Ew.
Yeah. Well, you wouldn't be part of that. It's okay.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's why I was all like, I'm like super self-conscious about the like body image right now because it's like
I do ask you to go to the pool with me and hang out.
Yeah, but that's like suburbia pools. That's where a bunch of moms and like
It is.
Yeah, no, that's not the scene, Rachel. No.
And I never get bothered.
Yeah, no, that's not what I'm looking for.
Your place does not have a pool, right?
It does not. No,
Okay.
no.
Rooftop pool. That would be so nice.
That would have been super cool. But
yeah,
it's okay. Yeah. Anyway, this week, what are we talking about, Rachel?
So this week we've got a pretty good topic that obviously hits very close to home. We do want to talk about being Filipino-American. I don't want to say versus being Filipino, but I think that'll come through in the discussion at some point. But we are both Filipino-American. However, John, I do say that you are more Filipino than me. Obviously, you speak the language. You were born in the Philippines. Me, born and raised in Northern Virginia. I like to tell people I know how to eat like a Filipino, and that usually gets a good smile. And then I eat a bunch of lumpia. I think that this is, I was just telling John before this, and now I'm actually really excited. I think that this is a pretty good topic to discuss, and I think it's going to really capture the whole point of this show as well.
Yeah, and the one thing that we're kind of worried about is that it's such a broad topic, right? And that it can encompass so many different things, so many different aspects of life, because it's something that does sit in the background, like it takes a backseat to your day-to-day consciousness, but in many ways that we don't really notice, it defines and really determines how we interact at work, with friends, with family, well, except definitely with family, right? But in many different ways, as we go through our so-called life, that being Filipino is so critical to just how we navigate and how we interact. And
I agree.
Yeah, and I think that's what we're going to be exploring, not just in this episode, but I mean, of course, it's going to pop up more. But this one particular episode is going to get our toes a little wet. Put it in the water and be like, oh man, wow, that's a lot, man. Yeah, dang, wow, crazy. Okay, and then move on. Yeah. And then we'll go back to our regularly scheduled programming of debauchery and dumb stuff.
Yeah, your regularly scheduled episode.
But that's just me, though. So,
how about, my background with being Filipino is pretty tiny. And I was born and raised here. I am 100% Filipino.
I find it funny that you say, my background in being Filipino-American is tiny, because I don't even know how you don't have a background in it. You just are.
I think maybe this is another reason why I'm excited about this topic is because I think this is an opportunity for me to articulate what I've felt and what I've experienced over the years, where I don't feel Filipino sometimes. And I think I'm lacking in that.
Yeah.
And I think, to your comment, it is very important to me that I'm embrace being Filipino.
Okay, so actually that's what I was going to be asking you, because if you do feel like you are a little too white or whatever other attribute you want to put to it, like, why does this part of you matter then? Why does this, like, why are we talking about this? Because why does this part of the consciousness of who you are, of your being, even warrant discussion?
I don't know. And it's funny because I'll know it after we think about this. It'll be one of those things. I know that it's important. I've experienced things in my tiny 30 years. Oh, yeah, that's what's new.
You did
turn 30.
Oh my God, you're old. Welcome to the club.
Yes, I did turn 30.
And you still don't have a tattoo, but whatever, it's fine.
I did try.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, not hard enough.
Yep, clearly.
But I think, I don't know, maybe it's because I turned 30. I think now I'm just starting to embrace and really understand the importance of a lot of things in my life. And I don't know the exact reason, but I think it clicked inside years ago that it's important that I learn the culture and I embrace it as much as I can when I have an opportunity. I guess I'll say that.
Yeah.
But
you want to know when it clicked for me?
I'm trying to think of an answer that you'd give, but I can't
think
of
what kind of answer would I give? Oh, what kind of edgy, smart-ass answer would I give, Rachel?
You know when it clicked for me? Sometimes when you're mocking me, that's what you sound like. That's how I listen to you in my head.
Facts, yeah.
Oh, well, it clicked for me the second I was born because I'm Filipino.
No. It was like sometime.
Make the voice.
It clicked for me, actually. No, dude, what? No. It was like in early high school / like 8th grade.
Okay.
When identity started like mattering a lot.
Yeah.
Right? Like, hey man, who are you hanging out with? Oh, you hanging out with the black kids? You hanging out with the white kids, the Asian kids, the Mexican kids?
Interesting.
Nah, man. Well, it's also California, right? Where that multiculturalness is just the default.
Okay.
Right? Like you have all these different cliques. 99% of the time usually kind of like based around the ethnicity.
Okay.
Right? Asians are in one massive clump. All the white kids are in a massive clump, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? Kind of like your standard or stereotypical high school movie. And of course, I will associate myself with the Asians, but then also in the subset of that, there's the Filipinos, right? All the dancers, all the breakers, all that performance arts kind of stuff, right?
The future Jabberwockies.
Sure. Unfortunately, I was none of those, so it was just kind of weird. And on top of that, I guess this is kind of touching into one part of being Filipino/Filipino-American is like I was a FOB at the time, like super FOB, right? For those unfamiliar with the term FOB means like someone fresh off the boat who was just someone who had just freshly immigrated from Asia, for example. And so, yeah.
Can I ask?
Nope.
When you came over?
1999, April 2nd, 1999.
And how old were you?
12.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, back to my earlier comment, I think I'm going to learn a whole lot.
Yes.
From you, towards the Filipino side. I think you have a really good balance between Filipino and American. Me, I think most days I just feel American.
Right. Because I think that's the default you've had for so long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
However, I mean, when there's a pot of adobo on the stove, don't talk to me. I can't hear anybody but this adobo.
Yeah. No, that's fair. Anytime there's food on the table or Filipino food on the in question.
No one else matters.
Yeah.
But the food that's on that table.
Like some of our relatives listen to this, right? So it's going to be kind of mildly embarrassing to admit that, hey, let's just get the prayer knocked out, please. I really like that lumpia is still steaming hot. I really want to get to it.
It's still crispy.
Yeah, it's still crispy. Please just let me get to it,
A funny story is when the cousins on my side of the family, when the cousins got together, we were doing oldest to youngest doing the prayer. And there was one year where Amanda had to do the prayer and she just kept getting interrupted.
Oh no.
And then at one point, my Lola said, I think she just interrupted and corrected. I think she said, stand up straight. And my cousins are like, oh my God, can we eat?
Yes,
Amanda,
please.
say it fast.
Yeah. Like, thanks for the food. Amen.
And it was funny because Marcus is standing there getting it on video. and she already looked annoyed. But
right.
Yeah, to your high school thing, I didn't experience that at all.
Because you were probably surrounded by a lot of
I don't think
non-Filipinos.
I think that there were I'll just say in my graduating class, I think there were maybe less than 7 Filipinos.
Wow.
That I knew about.
Yeah.
And 2 of them,
that's wild,
who are my best friends, are half. So that counts as 1.
Wait, the twins?
Yeah, they're half Filipino.
They're not even. Wait, are they Filipino?
Yeah.
What? I thought they were like. Oh, well,
they're half Colombian and half Filipino.
That's what it is. I thought they were half black.
No.
Oh, well, that's wild.
No, half Filipino, half Colombian. I remember somebody else. God, it may even be less than 5.
Yeah.
And we were dispersed. So you say your high school was sort of divvied up by...
There's tons of everybody.
Yeah, by ethnicity. Ours was sort of divvied up by the personality. So your jocks,
That's fair. Okay.
And each clique had just a good mix. But I mean, and I say that because I was in the creative writing side. I remember one other...
I thought you were going to say I was part of the cool clique.
No, I'm by no means.
None of us are cool.
I'm still trying to find out. I just turned 30, man.
I'm still definitely not cool.
I'm definitely not cool.
Yeah.
I was in the creative writing side, and then I remember one other Filipino, I think, being sort of athletic. And then there was the twins who kind of floated around. Everybody knew.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, my high school, I don't think there were any Filipinos.
Man, that's nuts.
Yeah.
Because even in my high school, even within the whole massive Filipino/Asian clique, there's even subsets of Filipinos, right? There's the FOBs, and then...
I'm sorry. Yeah, he's laughing because I'm geeking out right now. I'm like so excited to learn this.
Oh, so yeah, there's the FOB. Okay, so I guess this is going to blend into like my classifications of Asians, right?
I'm so excited to hear
I think
what
I've told you
say.
this before, but it sounds really insensitive. But if you're painting in really broad strokes with little regard for the finer details, right? This kind of stereotypical grouping works. It's super shorthand and it does injustice, yes, but hey, I was 12 at the time and this made sense.
Oh my God, you made this up when you were 12?
Roughly around that. I don't know. It was in high school.
Okay.
Wait, 12 is 6th grade. Okay, so I don't know, early high school, right? So three major groups. I have a Zanga post for this, actually.
Oh my God, you just threw it back.
Wow, should I link this into the podcast? No, because that's going to be hard evidence.
Somebody's going to see Zanga and just go straight towards that.
I'm going to go to jail for that stuff. Anyway, no. So, first group, like we already talked about it, the FOBs, FOBs, right? People who are straight from Asia. Then you have your ASNs, right?
Uh-huh.
Asians. Well, they're all Asian, but these are like your whitewashed kind of Asians, like your model minority, quote unquote, type of Asians. Okay. Right? The ones who are super high achievers, the ones who are in AP classes, 4.9 GPA plus or something. 5.0, I guess. I don't know why I said 4.9. Anyway. Those kinds of Asians, right? ASNs. And then you have the AZNs, which are like, super cool. The guys who drive the Honda Civics who are souped up with like the super loud mufflers and blah, 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 into like gangster rap, super baggy clothes, super baggy jeans. I love it. Back in the day, right? Those are AZNs. And so those were the three major groups that, people generally fell into. I towed the line between FOB and ASN, right? Because I was decently okay at school / really nerdy. And that's how it was. Even within the Filipino community, you split it up along those three lines. It was kind of cool.
That's awesome.
Sucks that you didn't get to experience that. Because I think everybody here is just some variety of white, I guess.
No, I think maybe that's another reason why this topic is important, because I just I think that there is a sense of identity to just sort of,
this is a space for you to explore,
to learn about myself. I mean, hell, I'm 30. I do enjoy saying that, actually, but I'm 30 and I want to
keep rubbing this in your face that you're old.
I don't get
every time you say
I'm excited
30,
about it like other people. Like, people react and it's either like, oh, I know I'm 30, my back hurts and I'm so tired. I'm like, no, I'm 30. I want to.
Yeah, you're old.
You're old.
Yeah. Have you heard of the silver fox kind of thing?
Not you.
That's not me yet. Not yet.
He's doing a little dance.
Not yet.
I
never will.
I do
think like silver pig.
Ew.
It's gonna be a good time.
Yeah, I didn't get to experience any of that. And I think that's there are some days where I reflect back, or even some days now, very few days now, where Filipino-American, it's like 90-10. 90% American, I mean.
Oh, 10%
I
see what you mean. Yeah. Because the extent of it is you got from your parents, and then the occasional interaction with like your aunts and uncles, right?
Yeah, I grew up in Northern Virginia, and I did spend every weekend with my grandparents, which was, when I have children, I'll make sure that I get to, that I leave my kids with their grandparents, because I think it's important. But
for what reason?
I think just to be that close.
With the grandparents, or for culture?
To be with my grandparents, just to be that close. Okay. But looking back on it, I believe that there were opportunities when I was with my grandparents, where I probably could have, increased that 10% being Filipino to
you could have pulled a little more.
I could have done a little bit more. But I'm still grateful for it. I think that they did teach me a lot of the culture, and looking back, like anytime you send a meme to us, I do think, yeah, that's what happened. That's what I grew up with.
It'd be nice if you responded to all the memes.
Yeah,
I harvest for y'all.
Yeah, it would be.
Wow. Tears. If you can't see this right now, but tears are rolling down my eyes.
I don't know if we've said this before.
Down my cheeks.
I don't know if we've said this before, but sometimes John messages me, and sometimes honest to God, there are days where I am working and I just don't think about looking at my phone.
Lies.
And then there are some days where I look at it and I can, so that way you can see I read it, and then I just don't respond for hours.
that grinds my gears so much.
Sometimes I think I'm just gonna read this and see what he says.
It's awful.
So back to the topic. Back to the topic, I guess. So that, I mean, I'll just say this: it's got to be nice to be surrounded by that many. I guess I'll even say Asian, from other Asian cultures, because again, I don't think I'm thinking about all the other cultures in our high school and our graduating class, and I don't think that there were that many.
Yeah,
I think it was
counted on one hand.
Yeah, I think it was like just white, Hispanic, Black. I think that the percentage of Asian students in our class were just, pretty small.
Mm-hmm.
And I think now since I graduated, I have been the only Filipino wherever I've been.
That's wild. You should join the Navy.
I hired I hired a Filipino at the hotel I worked at.
Mm-hmm.
And that was probably it. And she I think had just come over. I think she'd been living here for a couple years actually.
Okay.
And she is the sweetest person. She's the one I was telling her I was having a hard time learning. I was having a hard time with cooking sinigang.
Mm-hmm.
And 2 days later she came in with some seasoning packets and gave it to me. And
that's very nice of her. Yeah.
She's so nice. If she's listening, I hope she's doing very well. She's not in Virginia anymore. She moved to California with all the other Filipinos.
Hell yeah.
With all the other Filipinos.
California's what's up.
Yeah.
It's the best. love California. It's funny. I love California, but I'll never go back. I don't want to ever live there again, but I love California.
That's interesting. Why?
Yeah.
I've never heard you say that.
I thought I have. But there's like so many other places to go and see. Like I've done the California bit. I lived in California, grew up in California. Like it's cool,
that's fair.
Right? Yeah, I'm not going to settle there. I'm not going to go back and plant roots there. It's fine.
That's fair.
I want to go travel the world and stuff. Anyway, back to you. Right? So like it's funny that you're expressing a lot of this interest in wanting to engage or at least learn more about being Filipino/Filipino-American, right? Because it feels like you didn't get that experience. You didn't get that exposure when you were younger.
Yeah.
Right? But how do you envision this manifesting as you move forward and through your 30s? Because you're 30 now.
I just like being 30. Anyways.
No, you're going to be 34 in 4 years. Whoa.
Don't make that sound. That did not sound right.
You didn't sound, no. I'm going to cut that out.
Okay. I heard it back here.
Oh my God. That was some ASMR stuff, man. You got it's not tingles. It was like shivers.
Ew.
Like terrifying.
What I hope to get from this discussion, whatever we talk about, what I hope to learn from you or be inspired by you is, I think just trying to answer the question of what does it mean to be Filipino-American? I think that's a pretty heavy question. And then
it really is. Yeah.
Trickles down.
Because I don't have an answer for that.
Oh, good.
Yeah. I'm just like, what does it mean to be Filipino-American?
After I said I'm going to learn from you.
Yeah, no. Yeah. The only answer is just like, I'm like the butt end of the joke when it comes to balut or like, I take my shoes off at everybody's house, I guess.
Yeah. What kind of little quirks, if you will, well, I guess I'll backtrack. Are you, have you ever been the token Asian?
As soon as you join the Navy, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I mean, the in the Navy, right? I mean, I just did a project on this last semester.
Plug.
Yeah, small plug for my little mini documentary, but I'll put this link in the show notes.
Oh my God.
Because I produced the show. Anyway, I think I actually did it a couple episodes ago. Anyway, point being is like the military in general, actually, less than 5% of the entire force is Asian, and even fewer than that is Filipino. So yeah, I am a token Asian most everywhere I go. It's kind of nuts.
Yeah. I am always the token Asian.
Yeah. Around here, absolutely. I can see it.
It's interesting. And living here in Stafford, I don't think I've seen that many other Asians around here, Filipino or not, Filipino or other.
Yeah, even when we've taken like walks around your neighborhood, like
haven't seen another. No. Yeah, I know.
You should put a flag on your door, a Filipino flag, underneath the American flag, of course.
So that actually,
and advertise to your neighbors like Asian alert.
Yeah.
help. I mean, not help, but
Yeah, why did you say help?
Why did I say help?
God, why'd you say
Oh,
help?
because, so much Asian American, anti-Asian violence.
Oh my God, balot.
Yeah. Anyway.
Unless it's my family, obviously, but if I run into a Filipino, I'll just say, just to separate it, unless I run into a true Filipino, I'll put it this way. If I run into a Filipino tita, I will...
An auntie for those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Filipinos listening, no. I will walk the other way.
Oh, no. Wow. That's not where I expected you to go. I thought you were going to like, oh, hi, how are you doing?
No.
Because you're 30. That's what you titas do now.
No, I do
You're
that
all titas now.
I do that at one of the Filipino restaurants because they put extra
Oh, my God. Rude.
This one time I went to my coworker and I, she asked me if I wanted to go to the Filipino store, and I said, "You don't need me to go in there. It's not a club. It's not an exclusive club."
Actually,
yes, because I went in there and she put extra lumpia, and I was like, "Thanks." Okay. Anyway, so
she knew the password. That's why.
Yeah, it's me. When I run into a Filipino tita or somebody who is, I'll also just say more, I have no shame in saying it, who's more Filipino than me.
There's certainly air quotes around this, right?
I don't know. Sometimes there isn't.
No, okay.
But
like
I will
more
walk,
Filipino.
Yeah, I will walk the other way because my experience with this is it's kind of sad because
I was gonna say, is that driven by shame? Like, why would you be ashamed if it was the case?
I think maybe it's a little bit of shame, but usually the first thing that somebody asks is, they'll usually talk to me in Tagalog, and then I have to say,
yeah, you have to
I don't
explain.
speak the language, and then I have to go through the
The
small
script.
bio of,
Right.
I grew up here,
Yep.
I was born here.
Yep, get that.
And
I
then
understand.
they look a little sad, and I'm like, and I've gotten that sad response a lot, and it's almost kind of made me feel not like I'm a disappointment.
No, I don't think it's
but
your,
very small.
or at least if they're halfway decent, they certainly wouldn't blame you.
Yeah.
And if they are like 0% decent, they would 100% be blaming your parents.
Yeah, they're
Like,
just
wow, why won't they teach her Tagalog? Walang kwenta, walang hiya. As in, like, no shame, no class. That's.
Yeah, and it's something I've avoided. I remember one instance where I was at the hotel, and the girl I hired, and we looked out. Our hotel had glass doors, and we looked to the side, and I said, "I bet you they're Filipino." And they walk in, and she looks at me. And because your Filipino senses start
are tingling. Yep.
And I said, I'm going to go in the back room. Mm-hmm. And at the time, another coworker who's black said, "Well, don't you want to?" I said, "Nope, do not tell them I'm here." And I came out of the back. The way the hotel was set up is the front desk, and then the back office. The entrance to the back office was off to the corner. I didn't hear anything, so I thought they were gone.
Yeah.
And I came out, and then I got sucked into a conversation, and it was kind of after my short script, my short bio, then the attention sort of went back to the Filipino girl I worked with. Yeah. And it just, the conversation carried on as if I wasn't there. And it was just kind of
because they've already made their assessment and like, she is unworthy.
Yeah.
And it's a shame because that's how it goes.
Yeah.
That's how they think, how a lot of titas, old, let's say like old world, right?
Yeah.
Like from the Filipinos, right?
And I do want to say, obviously, this is very important. Is that's why I think it's very important for me to be around my family, and I love my family. I just don't love other Filipinos.
Oof.
Because it's just not I don't like feeling small like that. And that actually trumps the times where men at the hotel would ask for directions, and I'm the one giving it, but they're looking at my male coworker.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
See, like that even trumps that.
Yeah. And I think this is the topic of being Filipino, period, right? In America. I don't even want to say like Filipino-American because like there's so many different angles to this story. There are so many toxic cultural traits, right? That Filipinos, maybe it's not absolutely unique to Filipinos, but it's very pronounced. It's more heavily pronounced,
sure,
right? Especially there, this idea of gatekeeping Filipino-ness, right? Yeah. This is language I've like kind of like picked up in like in the last decade for sure, right? Not even the decade, like the last 5 years, right? Gatekeeping, like where people are saying, you're not Filipino because you didn't do this. You definitely don't count, and you're not worthy of my opinion now because you can't speak Tagalog, for example.
It's sad.
Right? And that's such a common thing among Filipinos, period. Filipinos and Filipino-Americans, right?
Yeah.
You know, and that's annoying. That's low-key annoying, man. That's a toxic trait that needs to get tossed out the window.
And I don't know what it is, but it does make me, I'll say me, and for those who can relate, us, it does make us feel a certain way.
Yep.
I don't know if it's small or if it's inadequate or if it's an identity crisis, but the fact that we feel a certain way when we get those responses of, oh, you don't speak the language, or oh, you don't look Filipino. I'm naturally a very pale person. I'm working on that this summer. Okay, don't rush me.
It's hot back summer.
I'm trying to look like a real Filipino, but it's not a fun reaction. It's not something,
No, it really isn't. Yeah,
and
it's belittling. Yeah, it's not something you can easily control.
Yeah, and
Or at all.
it was actually, I remember now, it was twice, two occasions with the same coworker who said, "Well, don't you want to?" I'm like, "No, don't tell them I'm Filipino.
Yeah.
Don't tell them somebody here is Filipino." But just because I just don't want, and it's even though it's such a short amount of time, even though it's 5 minutes, I just don't want to deal with it.
Yeah, and I find it's oh man, I'm sorry that kind of stuff happens to you, especially like in situations like that. But when something like that happens to me, when they talk about, when we go through the script, the quote unquote script, right? Oh, like who where are you from? What
when, where?
Who, what, when, where? Yeah. Like how, like the quiz of how Filipino are you, right? That set of questions and the script. Let's use that term, right? When I go through my set of answers for it, they're like, "Oh wow, you still speak Tagalog. Oh wow, you're Filipino, or your Tagalog is actually still pretty good for being here this long. Your English is really good." Well, yeah, of course, thanks, lady, right? But
Yeah, because I sound like this.
no, but I'm not saying this to brag, right? I'm saying this because there's a disparity here, and it's a really shitty thing to acknowledge because it's a toxic Filipino thing, but like. On your scorecard, after the script is done, you're in the negatives, hence you got like ostracized from that conversation, right?
Yeah, just burn the scorecard at that point.
Yeah, but for me, I'm in the positives. They're like, "Oh wow, you're making it big in the country," especially because they know I'm from the Philippines.
Your
right?
scorecard is laminated, framed.
Yeah, well, sure.
And in gold.
Yeah. It's nuts. Like, the speaking Tagalog points still matter. The fact that I have like street cred / my family's from the Philippines. We weren't very rich coming up, right? All those things just add up, and they're like, "Oh yeah, you're great. You're a cool dude. High five. Marry my daughter."
Okay, wow.
No, that
I wasn't expecting you to say that. First off, I'm listening very intently to you. If people could only see me, I've got my face in my hand, and I am listening to you, and then you went and said that.
No, every time I go high, it always has to go low right afterwards because I just can't maintain it.
The toxic Filipino culture, I do want our 9 listeners, hopefully we still have 9 listeners.
I think we've gone down to 5 at this point.
Probably.
Yeah. It's okay.
It's the Filipinos that dropped off.
Oh my God. Yeah.
I do want the listeners to know that I did not grow up in a toxic Filipino family. I did not grow up. I am very grateful and I'm proud of where I came from.
Yeah.
And having this discussion and trying to answer the question of what does it mean to be Filipino, that's not in any way, shitting on my background. It's just a matter of learning. But it is important to me. I don't know why, but I feel like it's something I need to learn more of.
Right.
But what I was going to say is, it's interesting. I remember I experienced a lot at the hotel.
Oh, okay.
Because I remembered one of those occasions where they came back and I'm working the front desk and I check them in and they come back maybe about 15 minutes, usually the amount of time it takes for somebody to check the room and tell me that there's something wrong with it. Because then the Filipino woman comes down and says, specifically, "Oh, we like the room, but you're Filipino, right?
Oh my God, here we go.
Could you upgrade us?"
Here we go. The hookup culture. Oh, not like hookup as in, Tinder swipe right kind of culture, but like, yo, hook it up, man.
My coworker looked at me, and I'd worked with this coworker for a long time for her to know that that my vibes were on fire.
Yeah.
Very politely and professionally said, no, unfortunately, I don't have any upgrades, but that is a very comfortable room. It should fit everybody. Oh, okay. I thought I would ask.
Yep. Gotta
No,
squeeze.
you thought you would ask, but you wanted to dangle being Filipino.
And use it as yeah.
I turned to my coworker. I said, that is one of the reasons why I said, do not tell them I'm Filipino.
Yeah. And it's funny because there's two sides to this coin, right? Like there's the definitely the toxic bit, like we had just talked about, where these people are just straight up looking for a hookup, a handout, really, just because, hey, we're kin, or hey, we are countrymen.
Yeah.
Kababayan is the word for it, right?
Yeah.
We are of the same race. Hey, let's stick it to the man. Give me that upgrade. Like, no, you're just being selfish and you're using some arbitrary kind of justification to get what you want. No, that's not the same thing as the other side of the coin, which is I literally did a video project on this last semester. It's
You're so good at losing your thoughts.
shut up. Bayanihan. Bayanihan, right? It's literally just like lifting each other up, or community work.
Yeah.
Right? That's what it roughly translates to. Bayanihan, where you as a good Filipino will help out a fellow Filipino in need. Clearly, those people were not in need, right? Or those people were not looking to build a community with you. They were just straight up looking for a thing.
Yeah.
Right? And you see this community work across cultures. Ethiopian, Mexican, Saudi Arabian, whatever the hell, wherever you're from, whatever you are.
Yeah.
Birds of a feather, right, will fly together. And they're always going to seek each other out, and they're going to build a community. That's why you have all these ethnic community centers around cities and towns, because people will look to congregate with who they understand and get along with, right? Especially in a culture that could be as oppressive or as narrow-minded as America sometimes, right?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, there's nothing wrong with the bayanihan / hooking each other up kind of thing if it's to build that community or to help people in need. But that situation, definitely not the case.
I've run into that was when I worked at one hotel. Then the next hotel I worked at, we had a lot of military stay with us, and I do remember one guy, and I actually think that we're Facebook friends now, and it was just very funny. No, we, for where we were located, a lot of these guys would stay with us for a couple of weeks. It was a long-term hotel. I'm working front desk, and we get to know each other. And then I learned his last name, which just so happens to be a name in my family. And I just love the sense of humor he gave, because he looked at me after I made a smiling face and he said, "Don't say it." I was like, I think we're related.
Oh my God.
And it still makes me laugh, because the look on his friends' faces who were white, they just start laughing. I was like, dude, you probably are.
Yep. It's wild.
And I think it's great. So I do, obviously, with my sense of humor and personality, I like being around that type of Filipino-ness,
right,
if you will. But yeah, my experience with the toxic Filipino culture just has, it's not a lot, but I have had experiences where it's just, like I said, I want to walk the other way.
Yeah.
And that's why, usually I kind of end the conversation with, I know how to eat like a Filipino. But I do think
it's very it's an innocuous way to curry favor, or to win you points back into the column.
It has gotten me a lot of halo on lonely nights at the hotel.
Wow. Okay. I didn't even know you guys offered that there.
No, they would come in because there was a Filipino restaurant about a half mile away.
Oh.
They'd go in and they'd come back, and I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. I think that's just the reflection of you being an actual decent human being, not even being Filipino. The Filipino just was a bonus. Right?
Also true.
Easy enough. If they were anything else, they'd probably bring you a milkshake or something instead
also
of halo, right? There's nothing about that has to be racial. The halo is just a flavor of that particular flavor of kindness.
Yeah. Yeah. What I mean, what about your experiences? I mean, so
there are
high
many.
School. I care to share?
Do tell. I mean, that's why we're gonna have multiple episodes of this,
Yeah.
right? I don't know,
The high school thing, let's start with high school since we're going to talk about this for a while. I mean, you got to grow up, we'll just say grow up. You got to grow up with other Asians.
Yeah.
And
good times.
Some of which were mostly Filipino compared to what I got to grow up with.
Yeah.
What was that like? Was there any type of influence or did you just kind of, what do they say, birds of a feather?
Yeah, more or less, yeah. I mean, I think it was kind of it was an insular community, absolutely like insular, right? We all hung out with more or less the same people. We acknowledged that other, races existed, right? And it's not like we were hanging out with each other to the detriment of everybody else, right? We didn't hate anyone else. We all just naturally gravitated towards each other because we all were interested in the same things, right? Like, and I'm using Asians here in the broadest sense because that's kind of like who I did hang out with. I didn't hang out with all the Filipinos, right? And in a very weird, like, in terms of high school dynamics, right? Like, I'm just going to straight up say that a lot of the other Filipinos that I knew were way cooler than me. They were like, no, straight up, right? They were like multiple levels past me on the social hierarchy.
Okay. Like
jocks and just generally cool people, right? There's one friend who, maybe we were more or less on the same level, right? Let's call him Kyle because that's actually his name. So, wow, that was a really bad way to like hide his identity, but oh well.
God.
Yeah. So yeah, me and Kyle were like more or less in the same level. We'd play video games together all the time, watch the same animes. I'd go to his house on Saturday mornings to watch Yu-Gi-Oh together.
Wow.
Yeah, it was so cool.
So cute.
Yeah. And, with the fact that he was Filipino, I was Filipino, that was kind of like, I think how we first met and how we first like really connected.
That's usually the connection.
But that was it,
Yeah.
Filipino-ness didn't define our friendship. Our interests define
It usually
our friendship.
starts it.
Yeah. It's your foot in the door, right?
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
And so I think that's how a lot of my other relationships, not romantic relationships, but like, relationships in high school are the same way. We're Asian / Filipino together. Okay, cool. But what else do we do in common? Mm-hmm. Play video games. Okay, cool. You like Fast and the Furious? Oh yeah, me too. Mm-hmm. Do you drive? Haha, no. Stuff like that, right? I think that's really it. Like we understood a lot of the norms and the, like, I guess what you would call now like memes, right, related to growing up. Mm-hmm. Like all the stuff that you'd see in subtle Asian traits about being Asian. Like we had that little microcosm in high school of us just constantly bitching about, my parents want me to do this, my parents want me to go to Chinese school or wants me to
everything coming up now is true.
Yeah. Yeah,
and it's amazing. It's interesting.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like the stuff that kids these days are seeing in subtle Asian traits. That's it's not unique to their generation. We've all lived it.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm afraid I'm kind of sad that you didn't get to experience it nearly as much, but you can relate.
Right? Yeah, and that's as far as it goes. Mm-hmm. That's the sad part. And suddenly a flood of memories are coming back. But yeah, that's the truth because I didn't get to experience it. I only have an understanding of it. Mm-hmm.
But you're not going to be completely out of place if people were to talk about it. You'd understand.
Yeah, I understand, but it won't ever be I won't be fully satisfied with it.
I see. Okay. Yeah.
And I think that's probably another reason why I think it's important to learn about being Filipino and really embrace being Filipino. Mm-hmm. When I was bartending at the hotel and the military guys would come down, and I would hear about them. Usually you start talking, where are you from? Oh, I'm Filipino. Wow, God, I was stationed in the Philippines for a long time.
Oh, no.
And I usually make the joke like, wow, you're more Filipino than me. You know? And
there you go.
And haha, not so much. That's the truth.
Sad.
But yeah, I think overall it's just important to me. It's something I want to embrace. They don't teach about Filipino culture or that type of history or anything. So I don't know anything.
Yeah. And that's kind of the one thing I did notice, like growing up too, is that we didn't have like Filipino school.
Yeah.
Right? Like there's Chinese school where they have to do their calligraphy and then they, because it's a complex language, it's a complex writing system, right? There's Korean school. I don't know if the Japanese kids did, but like there's no Filipino school. It's literally just like, hey, go watch TFC, which is, it's literally the Filipino channel offered on satellite.
Yeah.
Or, go get yelled at by your parents kind of thing.
I do love the soap operas on TFC.
Oof.
My I know, but my aunt used to translate for me on the phone and tell me what's happening.
Lord.
I loved it. I loved it.
Do you have a favorite?
No, but I had a crush on I think he's gay.
Wow.
Which is fine. I think I learned it and I was like, wow, I had a crush on you for like 5 years. I didn't even know it. But I had a crush on Piolo Pasquale.
Oh man, I was gonna say it. I should have said it.
You know him?
I should have said it, yeah. Yeah. That was a cool dude.
And Jericho.
I mean, I don't know him, but yeah, we hung out.
Oh, you know him.
No, we don't.
And Jericho, God, what's his last name?
I don't know. I don't follow this stuff.
He was cute. He is cute. But yeah, I usually would have my aunt would translate. And I loved it. And even now, like I mean, you've stood next to me in some occasions where you would translate something to me.
Oh yeah, the most recent one was at the
Yeah.
Manila Bistro or whatever,
Yeah.
right? Where there's this newscast about like don't kiss your chickens,
Yeah.
or you're gonna get salmonella.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
And I think it was the news.
Yeah.
And I think I was on the phone with Marcus and I was like, "Can you read the Filipino news?" And he just says, "No, I can't read that fast." I was like, "Wow, okay."
Yeah.
But John has translated for me. Other cousins have translated what family members are saying, things like that. And that's I appreciate that. I do, because I think that and Marcus translate.
Okay, good. Yeah.
Marcus is Filipino, if I haven't said it before, and he does not speak the language. It sounds like me and John, and but he understands it, which is really nice. And he does have a better scorecard than me.
Yeah. There you go.
I think it's because he eats kare.
The care.
I can't.
What's in care, Rachel?
I don't like peanut butter that much. So it's a stew, and I think
it's so good. How do you not like it?
I just no. It's a stew traditionally composing of peanut butter, and I think I've seen tripe.
Oh,
Short ribs, pork.
Like tripe is just good in anything.
No, it's not.
Oh wow, get out.
No, I went to a pho place and I took a bite of something. I thought,
what place?
A pho place.
A what place?
A Vietnam.
A what place?
Where are you getting at?
How do you pronounce the PHO again? What was it?
Huh?
Okay, let's just move on.
But yeah, tripe should not belong in food.
Yeah. You're not winning any points with our Vietnamese audience either.
That's fine. I haven't been winning points in the Asian community for a very long time, so.
That's all right.
Other than being the only... No, you know what? I take that back. I do win points because I'm usually the only one. I'm my own community.
You don't count. You can't count for yourself.
I'm my own community population, me.
Oh my God.
It's so sad.
That is, yeah. It's a big sad.
Yeah, I don't eat kare. I guess let's talk about food now, because before we get hungry again. Chicken adobo, which, is the whole concept of this show. Not the entire concept, but it's a very popular home dish that just gives me a big hug, drowned in vinegar.
Okay. That's fair. That's fair. I use vinegar to clean my toilet bowl, but yeah, all right. What? Calcium buildup, man.
Then you have pancit. Everybody likes
pancit.
Man,
yeah. Oh, palabok. Oh.
Palabok. Which is shout out to our aunt, and she's the only one that knows how to make it.
No, I don't know.
Really, really well.
I only get my palabok from Jollibee.
No.
Just kidding. I mean, it's decent.
No, absolutely not.
What? It's decent. I'm not saying it's great. It's decent.
That's fair.
Yeah, that's out. Fair. Get out.
And then lumpia.
You don't know. You're not really Filipino.
I know. And then lumpia. Everybody likes lumpia because you eat it like potato chips.
With meat in it.
There
you go. I was like, what the hell kind of lumpia are you eating?
You just kind of pop it. Because you do, no matter how long you make it, you're still going to cut it into individual, little teeny tiny poppable bites.
Wait, okay, so, oh man, I guess this is more commentary on like you needing to explore the Filipino-ness of yourself a little more. But have you heard of lumpiang sariwa?
No.
Right? Oh man, damn, all right. It's the lumpia that's not fried. Right?
Oh no, I've never heard of that.
It's so good. It's basically like a savory crepe with vegetables. It's a Filipino crepe with vegetables
Interesting.
that you pour peanut sauce on.
Oh, see, and you lost me.
What? No, it's not peanut butter. It's peanut sauce. That's
Probably
different.
used with peanut butter.
You don't wipe it. Not wipe. You don't like
wipe it.
God, what you don't.
You don't wipe it. Go ahead.
How do you don't spread it with a knife, right? Like you would on a sandwich. It's something you dip into. Yeah. Oh, it's so good. So good. Yeah.
I
haven't had that in a long time.
I have never had balut.
Yep, neither have I. That's good. It's absolutely terrifying.
And I think what I've learned...
Shit is terrifying. I'm going to bleep that out.
I think what I've learned is that it splits the Filipino community. Either you have or you haven't.
Yep.
And if you have, you're not going to go back and do it again.
Yeah, sure. I guess. I'm squarely in the I'm not touching that thing with a 10-meter pole.
Whereas Marcus will eat it.
Yep. Good. More power to him, man. Like, mad respect.
I mean, just brush your teeth afterwards.
Could you explain to our audience what balut is?
It is a fermented duck. So at some point in the process, it is, I guess, a fermented duck egg. So at some point in the process,
fermented or fertilized?
Oh, fertilized. Sorry. So it is a fertilized duck egg. So when you do crack off the top of that egg, you just see a duck.
Yeah, it's like half whole. I don't know. It's like mostly formed.
Yeah.
There's like shape to it. There's like feathers to it.
My spine is itchy.
Yeah, dude.
Like I said, some Filipinos do and some Filipinos don't. And if you did, then you're probably not going to do it again. But I have met a lot of, I worked with a Jamaican who was in the Navy and he loved it. And he kept trying to bring one in. I said, I'm not, look, this is,
you're going to stink up the place. No good.
Also, don't open this in my office. Second off, this is the Filipino that won't eat it. So go find another Filipino. Joke's on you. You won't.
Yeah.
And I also do not eat dinuguan.
Okay, that's fair. I kind of don't either. I mean, I don't.
Think
I'm not a fan
more
of.
So psychological.
I'm not. Yeah, it is. It's purely psychological. I'm not a fan of it. There you go. I mean, it tastes okay. I just don't like the idea of it either.
Yeah. So what dinuguan is? It's cooked pork's blood. It's meat. It's meat cooked in pork's blood. And I can't. Again, Marcus will eat anything, so we'll eat that.
Yeah. No, I mean, if I had to, I would. Right? It's just I'd really rather not.
You eat everything. Okay. Well, balut or dinuguan?
No, dinuguan.
Okay.
Easy.
And I think
dinuguan is not like an absolute no for me. It's just I really rather not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair. Lechon, which is basically deep fried pork belly.
Yeah. Oh, you haven't even touched like desserts.
Yeah, no,
man.
I think
I mean you mentioned halo halo earlier, which is like a summer treat.
But by the time I'm done eating, I don't usually eat a lot of Filipino desserts.
No, dude.
And I'm full.
No. That's where you're wrong.
I can't breathe.
That's where you're wrong and you need to eat more.
The 37 pieces of lumpia is just too much.
No. Okay, so
on top of the rice.
Polvoron is one of my personal favorites.
Oh.
You know what it is?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's freaking great.
I have to be in the mood for it. Maybe just one and then
I don't know how to describe it. It's like
it's dried milk.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is that what it is? It's dried milk in the form or in a shape of a like pastry, a tiny pastry.
Yeah.
But it crumbles super fast.
It's I don't think it's entirely dried condensed milk. I think there are other ingredients in there, but that's essentially what it is.
Yeah.
I do like it when it's rolled in sugar.
Oh, it's so good. So good. Toron, we haven't touched that.
That's another one you can eat like potato chips.
Oh, yeah. Think of lumpia, but instead of like meat inside, it's sweet banana.
It is. Toron is the Filipino version of, when you go to like,
is there a Spanish kind of version of this? Or?
Yeah. Oh my God, I'm blanking. Plantains, and they do it with like a nice sour cream yogurty dip. Ours is the plantains.
Yeah, we don't do sour cream. What?
Yeah.
No, get out. No,
ours is the plantains, brown sugar. I put brown sugar in mine and then wrap it in an egg roll wrapper.
There you go. Yep.
Forgot about that one. You're right.
Yeah. See, okay, so now that I kind of got the food out of the way, I mean, it's amusing, right? That we went from like kind of like high concept, high level discussion of culture, as in like toxic stuff or, engaging with peers, that kind of thing about Filipino-ness. And then we just dovetail nicely into food, something pretty low stakes.
Yeah.
Right. But I think that just hints at like how broad this entire experience is. Right. And food is a super easy gateway into another culture. Right. Like whenever I talk about Japanese culture, I always defer to food all the time. Right. I freaking love Japanese street food. I freaking love like their 7-Elevens, right? Their convenience stores because of the food in there. You could live off of convenience store food in Japan. It's nuts. I did it for 3 years. So, hey, whatever. But the going from, discussions about family and growing up to food goes to show you how many things we can talk about. And this is not something that's going to be easily wrapped up in 1, 2, or 3 episodes. It's going to be an ongoing thing. And I mean, that's part of our mission statement, right? We're going to be exploring all of this as we go over time, so.
Yeah, I think that it's a weighted topic in that there are so many components, so many things that I think that will, and I know us well enough that we'll be able to bring in a lot of experiences, memories, and just comment on just things and other stories. And it's just a really good topic. And I hope that we kind of provide food for thought on this. So, thanks for listening, and we'll catch you the next time we discuss being Filipino. The few times where you're like, you respond back in caps and you're like, I see you. I know you read this. It does make me laugh out loud.
Acknowledge me. Please, just acknowledge I'm so lonely.
I know, that's why it's so funny.
It's not.